This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. First off, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar Kadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have taught us this word, teach us this word today. And I want to give a salutation to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is the brother Yatazakbar with the GMS Nebraska camp. This is GMS Endeavor. And in this lesson, what I want to go into is how, it's a hard pill to swallow, but for us in this truth, we have to get used to the idea that, those who are close to us, who are in the world, will turn against us in these last days, and that's not everyone's lot. I won't say that everyone who is around family or, people who aren't in this truth, they're going to turn against them and do these certain things. But this is a lot that is, set for some of us in this gospel. As the scriptures say, we're going to have to bear our own cross. We're going to have to take on the sufferings of Yahweh Shai, and we all have our own tailor-made walk, our own tailor-made sufferings that are personal to us. So some of us will have to go through the experience of being betrayed by family, whether that be parents, whether that be our wife, or our husband, or our kids, because when we get Matthew chapter 10 verse 22, or really going up to verse 21, it says, and the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. And what's going to end up happening here soon is that us who are in this truth will be painted as criminals. We're going to be public enemy number one. And it's going to come a time to where Esau is going to be putting it out there that, hey, if you know an Israelite, give them up. And let alone, this is going to be in the midst of Jacob's trouble. Esau may bring incentives for delivering up Hebrew Israelites to where people who are struggling to eat in that time are struggling to take care of themselves. Esau is going to give a reward that if you give up a Hebrew Israelite, you give up someone that's into this, or that believes this, then you'll receive food, or we'll take care of you, or whatever it may be. And there's going to be a time of desperation that, hey, like the scriptures say in Matthew chapter 24, where we started off with, the love of many is going to wax cold. There's going to come a time where people are going to be looking out for themselves, or people are going to be looking out for, themselves and their family, and whoever's expendable is going to be expendable. And in that time, the Hebrew Israelites are going to be very expendable to the people in the world. And so we are going to be delivered up by the people around us. And it may not seem like that in this time, because right now things is cool. Right now things is easy. We're in comfortable times, compared to the times that we're coming into. Right now it's comfortable. Right now it's easy to get along with the family around us, whether we live in the same household with them, or you may have family members that you don't really talk to like that, but it's cordial when you're around them. You don't be around them like that, but it's cordial. Or like I said, you may be in the same household with family, or with a friend in the world. But at the end of the day, what we have to understand is that these people ain't in the same fight that we're in. They aren't held to the same they don't hold themselves to the same standards. The loyalty we have to this truth, to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So when the time comes that, to take care of themselves, all they got to do is give us up. There's going to be a time of desperation to where they're going to do that. And so we read on, it says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endured to the end shall be saved. So we're going to be hated. Let's get that word hated real fast. Strong's G 3404. To hate, pursue with hatred, detest. You know, it says to to love less. You know, and like I said, this is a hard pill to swallow because, like the scriptures say, this is going to be our kids delivering us up, you know, reporting us. This is going to be our parents, our brothers and sisters in the world. And you know that love is going to wax cold in that time, where it's going to be, you know, they gotta do what's best for them. They gotta do what's best for the people around them, who's going to be contrary to us in this truth. And that's going to hurt, especially you think of your kid, you know, delivering you up to Esau, and you didn't you know, raise your kid up, you know, watch your kid grow up, and then boom, this is the same person that's going to deliver you up to be in prison, to go to a concentration camp. But this is the bitterness of the truth. These are the type of things that we have to come to terms with as we are in this walk, because for some of us this is our lot. But this is what the truth is about. It's about these sufferings. It's about these hard truths and hard pills that we'll have to swallow, because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, let's grab the scripture. Luke chapter 14 verse 27. And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. So the same way Yahushua bared his cross, and not only literally when he had to bear his cross when he was about to be crucified, but the sufferings that he had to go through from, you know, through his you know, his whole life. The same thing that we have to do within our walk. When we come into this truth, all the sufferings that we have to go through that lead up to salvation, or, you know, unto our death, you know, that's us bearing our cross. It's not just going out and doing the work. It's not just these videos we do, you know, because all disciples of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, everybody that calls himself being in the truth, men, women, and children, have their own cross that they have to bear. And that's why the scripture says, for which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it. And a part of, like, counting the counting the cost in this truth is sitting back and thinking, like, this could happen. And you gotta really, you know, understand that this truth ain't just, hey, you know what, let's grab this scripture. Sweet as honey. Let's see. This is Revelation chapter 10 verse 9. It says, and I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. You know, and so that book is these scriptures. Is when this, you know, when the truth of the scriptures is given unto us, and when we first eat it, it's in our mouth sweet as honey, which means that we come to the knowledge of who we are. We learn about, you know, the kingdom. You know, we learn about the pleasant things of this truth. We get answers. You know, we're taken out of the darkness of this world, and that's sweet as honey. But once you learn more in this truth, you start to learn about the temptations we go through in this truth, the demons we got to fight, you know, warring against Satan. You learn about that some of us will be put to death for the testimony of Yahushua, that some of us will be in prison. You start to get into that, you know, that Sirach chapter 2, where it says, hey, when thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. That's the bitterness of this truth, and that's real, and that's a part of this thing, all the same as the sweetness of it. But we have to go through that bitterness to get the reward, you know. So Salaki, let's see, let's go to Matthew chapter 12 verse 49. And I will put it out there, like I mentioned, this isn't everyone's lot, because you got to think, the scriptures say in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 that you have men who are in this truth who have an unbelieving wife, and vice versa. You have women who are in this truth who have unbelieving husbands. And the script, let's grab that real fast, because there's a balance to it, you know. Let's see. I want to start from a good spot. Yeah. We can start from right here. Just get straight into the point. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 14, it says, "For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy." So even if you have if you know you are a man in this truth or a woman in this truth, and you are with someone who don't believe, you know, but they are pleased to dwell with you, you know, our works can be enough that they are delivered along with us. You know, so it's not everyone's lot that the people who are in your household that ain't going through this truth like you are going through it will betray you, will deliver you up. But that is very well a possibility. It is very well prophesied that that will happen to some of us. So I just want to bring this out to show the balance of it, that, you know, there's a chance that it won't happen, you know, but we got to count the cost that, hey, this could happen, you know. So let's go back to Matthew chapter 12 verse 49, which says, and he stretched forth his hand towards his disciples and said, "Behold, my mother and my brethren, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother." So we got to keep in mind that at the end of the day, we have our family, we have, you know, the people we grew up with, but our true family are those who are in this truth with us, those who are fighting this fight with us, you know, who are we're laying down our lives together. We're putting our lives on the line for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai together. That, you know, us who are in this truth together, we are truly family, because our family outside of this truth, they ain't held, like I mentioned before, they ain't held to the same standard. They don't have to be loyal to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai because they haven't, you know, pledged their life to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So when the time comes, hey, when that love of many wax cold, all them memories that you got with your family, and you know, that family tie that you have with your family in the world, that could snap just like that. And it'll be nothing for, you know, our family in the world to do it once the time comes for survival. Once the time comes that we are painted as enemies, as public enemy number one. You know, because a lot of our family in the world that ain't in this truth is going to be simple enough to believe what Esau is pushing, and they going to deliver us up. You know, they going to believe when Esau is calling us terrorists, when Esau is saying that we are evil. You know, so hey, you know, let's grab Matthew chapter 10 verse 34, and that'll be the last precept. It says, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household." You know, so this is why the scriptures say to lay our treasures up in heaven, because we can build a family here in this world, and that we can lose it just like that. You know, because we have to go through losses. In this truth, we're gonna lose our worldly possessions, and that's why we have to be prepared to lose everything for salvation, to lose everything for the sake of pleasing Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. You know, our families that we've built and the people that we've gained relationships with, don't be perplexed or confused or surprised if that flips, you know, when mad day comes. You know, because the scriptures is telling us that it's gonna happen. We'll get I can't think of the scripture right now, but the scriptures say that the things that we lose on this side, we gonna get that back in abundance in the kingdom. That's what we gotta look forward to laying up our treasures in heaven. The things that we lose here, it's all good. We fighting for a way greater reward later on. You know, so hey, that's why here, let's grab these last couple verses, and that'll be it. "He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. He that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me." And a part of that cross is what we're speaking about in this lesson. So some of us is going to have to go through this to be found acceptable in the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and that's the way that it is. That's the bitter truth. That's one of the bitter truths, the hard pills that we got to swallow and, you know, meditate upon in this truth, you know. So hey, you know, if it's the Lord's will that we don't have to go through this, if it's the Lord's will that, you know, the unbelieving, you know, husband or wife that we're with, you know, for the men and women that are in this truth, or the unbelieving children, that they can be sanctified through our walk, you know, hey, if that's the Lord's will, you know, then, you know, that's Yapa, but that's not going to always be the case, you know. So hey, that's all I want to grab with this lesson. You know, Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. You know, once again, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahawah Kharkadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and a salutation unto the elect. Shalom.